Bonjour tout le monde, welcome back to We in France. I'm Diane, and I know that every single one of you watching, you know that France is home to some of the best food in the world. But can you find anything good in a regular, everyday French grocery store? The answer is absolutely yes, and I'm going to take you inside one today, just one of my local supermarkets, to show you some of my own favorite products that if you find yourself on vacation in France, you absolutely must try. Things that maybe aren't well suited to put in your carry-on or your checked luggage, but they are worth a try while you're here in France. And for fun, supermarket items that make great souvenirs that you actually can take back home with you easily in your suitcase, check out this recent video, or I'll put it here, that I've done exactly on that, my top supermarket souvenir picks from France. But let's get into it. We're gonna head inside. Okay, at this particular supermarket, you pass by the bakery section on the way in. And yes, a French boulangerie is the best and most high quality place to pick up a fresh baguette and pastries. But I have to say, Super U does a really great job. So if you're in a pinch or just don't want to pay bakery prices, definitely check out the bakery section if your supermarket has one. Now, the first thing in this store that you'll see is the main aisle is going to have all the promos, the things that are on sale, and also anything for the holidays. So here you're going to see chocolate candy and all kinds of gift sets. The first item I want to point out is a holiday cookie sampler. This particular one is by Delacre, and it's usually, just a few euros. This is not 20, 30 euros, just regular everyday butter cookies called sablé. In French, and you're going to see on the back most of these samplers, they have a layout of what you can find, showing you if the cookies will have a little bit of cinnamon or coconut or like a nut topping. And they're just really nice samplers. Sometimes they come in decorative tins, and like I said, they're just a few euros and just a nice way to get festive if you see one of these. If you find yourself in France around the holidays, definitely keep an eye out for some of the specialty chocolate that you'll find this time of year. One of my favorites actually comes from the brand Nestle, and they're these little individually wrapped truffles. They might get banged up in your suitcase, so that's why I'm recommending you try them while you're actually here. But they come in the dark chocolate, the noir, 70%. They come in milk. I believe they even come in like nut options as well. But these truffles are pretty good, I have to say, as far as grocery store chocolate goes. All right, let's keep it moving. We're going to head down the drinks aisle, and here next to the water, you're going to find sparkling water. French brand Perrier. You're going to find all kinds of flavored sparkling waters that maybe you won't find at home. So if you like that and you just don't want plain water, definitely give the French sparkling water varieties a look. You're going to see some here. They're mango, peach, strawberry, and they're actually quite good. And another type of drink option, maybe for the summer, something refreshing, or anytime, you're going to find flavored non-alcoholic drink syrups here, the sirop, and you're going to find ones that come in things like grenadine, flavors like cherry, peach, and that sort of thing. You just mix it with water, and it's a nice refreshing option. But we're going to continue here past the beer, and this store has the snacks right behind the beer. So let me just head around the corner. We call this apéro, short for aperitif. Very popular, kind of like happy hour snacks, things that you can put out for guests before the main meal. And something I'll draw your attention to are these aperitifs. You can find these in the refrigerated section as well, but this particular formulation is shelf stable, right by the olives. And you're going to find they're these little individually wrapped cheese cubes, and they come in different flavors like herb, salmon, tomato. There's different variety packs, and they're really good. And you'll find crackers and other things to nibble on. One I've told you about before, one of my favorite things in France, something I was not familiar with in the US, are peanut flavored kind of puffs. They're not cheese puffs, but they're puffs, peanut puffs, from the brand Vico. These are the curly original. Cacahuète means peanut, And these aren't peanut butter. There's nothing inside. They're just kind of like cheese puffs, but are peanut flavored. And these aren't super popular in the US, but they're very, very good. So keep your eye out for those. And then the cheese puff ones from the brand Boulin, these are excellent, the emmental flavored ones. These are cheese puffs. Again, no filling in the inside. So if you're having a party and want to put out some munchies, these are two of my favorites. And something you will not find in this aisle, which surprised me when I first came to France, is that you won't find potato chips here. Potato chips are not typically served for apéro. French people have them with chicken, and they don't serve the same purpose in France. So if you're looking for potato chips, they're usually in a different aisle, not with the apéro snacks and that sort of thing. And another non-alcoholic beverage that I want to point out before we move on to wine is this product here. It's an apple cider sparkling that comes in different flavors like strawberry and raspberry, and it's really good. These fines bulles de fruits from Cœur de Pomme. Pomme means apple, and my favorite is raspberry. It's not too sweet or anything like that. But let's move on to wine. Now, you're going to find a lot of wine in French supermarkets, unlike the US, where some states alcohol is prohibited from being sold in grocery stores. That's not the case in France. What I would recommend doing is whatever region of France you're in, look for local wines, wines from that region. So here in the Loire Valley, I'm looking for wines that are made here that say Anjou. Saumur is also a popular one. You'll find sparkling like this, the Crémant de Loire. It's excellent. It's an alternative to champagne. It's going to be under 10 euros. And you can get wines from the producer as well, but you'll still find some great everyday drinking wines from the supermarket. So don't count it out and think they only have junky wines, because that's not the case at all. Now, in addition to wines, you're also going to find liquor and other spirits. Cassis here is a popular one. This one is from Anjou, in and around Angers, where I live. And this could be mixed with wine. You could do a kir with sparkling wine. You could do kir royal. And there's just really interesting liquors that maybe you haven't had at home. And they're often very nicely priced. And as we continue on here through some of the personal care products, let's make a stop at the bath and body washes and soaps. One brand that's probably the French equivalent of Dove is Le Petit Marseillais, and that little icon of a boy there in the logo, that's actually Marseillais, someone from the southern French city of Marseille. So the brand Le Petit Marseillais means like the little boy from Marseille. And these are pretty popular. Are they super high-end products? No, they're grocery store soaps. But just like Dove, they're popular. They get the job done. And they're kind of very popular with tourists who want to take things home. I'd recommend, unless you tape it really well, get a small one. Use it while you're in France. You don't want any mishap in your suitcase. All right, now for something sweet, we're going to stop in the cookie aisle, and some cookies I recommend that you eat while you're here in France, and actually don't put in your suitcase because they're quite fragile, are these from Gavotte, and they are little wafers, very light, crunchy cookies that are enrobed in chocolate. These are milk. They also come in dark. They're excellent. And if you're looking where to buy these products in the US, maybe you're not in France and have no plans to be in France, I'm going to link to my favorite online French grocery store where you can find all of these products. So definitely check that out. But let's move on and let me see what else I have to show you today. All right, next we're going to swing by the baking aisle for any bakers out there. A product that I don't think is super popular in the US is flavored sugar. You can find small packets of flavored vanilla sugar, really tasty in different recipes that you need to give a vanilla flavor. Also, just for the novelty of it, I love the brand Daddy, the sugar cubes that come in brown and white sugar, often in fun shapes. And while we're here, let's not forget the tablette de chocolat chocolate bars. You can find Nestle in mainstream brands. And one of my favorites is anything pistachio or almond flavored, even better when it's pistachio and almond paste flavored, like this Lindt variety I'm showing you here. But what I would actually recommend is look for something again that's local, made in France, something that you're not going to find everywhere. And here by me in the Loire Valley, you're going to find chocolate from Brittany. So I'll just show you a selection. Next, let's make our way over to the refrigerated section. If you're going to be doing any cooking while you're in France, I highly recommend grabbing a pack or two of lardons. They're kind of like bacon. It's a cut of pork fat, kind of like bacon, but here we have them in smoked, fumé, or nature, just unsmoked. And I would get the ones, the allumettes right there, the matchstick ones. They're excellent in quiches, in omelets, and anything else you're making. And as we come around here behind the produce section, we're going to come up on a section called traiteur. And the word traiteur can mean caterer. It's also the deli section. So there's a lot of prepared foods. They tend to be higher in quality. And this particular one from Maison Kino, the pomme dauphine. Pomme dauphine are potato puffs that are deep fried. They consist of a mashed potato type of interior consistency mixed with choux pastry, and they're actually quite good, so try them when you're in France. If you're having a party or you're having people over for drinks, definitely look into these little petits fours. Also in this deli section, this particular brand is excellent, and they just whip up in the oven very easily. You'll find also for apéro, again, if you're having people over for a little dinner party, something like that, ahead of time, you can have your drinks with these little glasses of. There's usually salmon, other seafood, different mixes that are really good. Then right next to where we just were, we have all kinds of cheeses. I love the chevreau. This is going to be goat cheese. It's a bit on the drier side. This isn't like a gooey mess kind of a cheese. And you'll notice that when I pick that up, it says sans OGM in the corner. That means without GMOs. Here's another goat cheese. You're going to see that designation there from a large nationwide contest where all different producers compete for this, the different medailles, the different medals, and the leaves come in bronze, silver, and gold. So if you see that designation, that sticker with the leaf giving a medal to the particular product across a bunch of categories, it means you're getting something that's quality. So you'll see that as I continue to show you products. But let me move on here to these cheese platters. They usually run between 10 and 15 euros. They have a selection of different cheeses from different areas of France. This one's from the southwest. And you're going to get maybe 4 or 5 different cheeses, just enough for a couple of days or maybe less if you eat a lot of cheese. And they're great for a party or just to have while you're here in France, so you don't have to go too far except your grocery store, your local store. These are pretty popular, again, especially around the holidays, and are really good. A word you're going to see quite commonly on different products in French grocery stores is bio, that's B-I-O, and that is short for biologique, which means organic. So you'll see that on milk, on cheese, different vegetables, fruits, and all those types of products. So just know bio is organic. Again, my biggest tip is to get local products close to where you're staying when it comes to cheese and produce and that sort of thing. But you're going to see the designation again from the big concours, the big competition in Paris, again with that leaf here on the fromage frais that comes. It's kind of like yogurt in a sense, and here there's flavored ones that are strawberry, vanilla. But let's move on. I'll show you a few more cheeses. Now, typically here, something that you can try in France in the winter months, Switzerland as well, is raclette. And if you've never heard of it, like I never did until I moved to France, it's almost like a fondue type of thing. You do need a special machine generally to eat it. So maybe it's something you want to look for at a restaurant, especially if you're in the mountains. But you dip all kinds of things into this melted cheese that comes in different flavors, things like pickles and other vegetables, potatoes, really whatever you want, meats, and it's excellent. Heavy, but really, really good. And right next to the cheese in this store, we have charcuterie products, pork sausage, and different products, saucisses, pepperoni that you might want to try while you're here if you're into that. France is really big on labels and specialty designations to ensure superior products. One that you want to look out for is the red label, the label rouge. And what it is it ensures that the product was made, produced, or prepared actually to a superior standard, a higher standard than, say, just other non red label products in the category. And it can apply to chicken, salmon. Here we have the saucisson sec. So look for that red label, label rouge, for a superior product. France's produce is generally seasonal, so if you're in France in the fall and the winter months, look for that orange-looking squash there. It's called a potiron. Not too popular in the U.S., not quite a pumpkin, but it makes excellent soup. You'll see a butternut squash, a spaghetti squash, all kinds of root vegetables. Check out the local seasonal produce. If you like apples, my absolute favorite variety of apple in France is called Tentation or Temptation. I wasn't able to find them today, but they look kind of like these ones I'm showing you here that are actually golden delicious, but they're kind of a yellowish light green like that. And again, it's Tentation. They're excellent. They're very popular in the Loire Valley. I guess so popular that they were sold out today, but just a heads up on an amazing apple variety. And if you have room for dessert after dinner and you'd like some ice cream, this brand I'm showing you here, L'Angélisse, they actually have stores around France. One most notable that I went to recently was in La Rochelle on the Atlantic coast, but you can find them, this high-end artisanal ice cream, in certain supermarkets, flavors like caramel. You'll find sorbet as well. But it's really, really good, high-quality ice cream. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more, but if you want a high-quality product, definitely look for L'Angélisse here, this artisanal glacier ice cream maker. Oh, and while we're in the frozen food section, the snails, escargot, caught my eye, and I'd be remiss if I did not recommend some snails while you're in France. The sauce, that green stuff inside with parsley, garlic, and butter, that's the best part. You could sop up the sauce with some bread. It's excellent. Grab them at a restaurant if you see them on the menu, or get some from the grocery store, but they're very, very good. All right, as we pass the florist section here and head over to the desserts and yogurt, it's one of the things that surprised me when I came to France, just all the tiny puddings and yogurts and mousses and cream desserts and that sort of thing. The aisle seems to go on forever. We love Bonne Maman. It's a standout brand. You probably are familiar with the jams, but you'll find the full product lines in France for chocolate mousse that is made with fresh eggs in the milk variety, in the dark chocolate variety as well. Rice pudding from La Fermière is excellent, and they come in little decorative glass jars that you might want to hold on to. They do a nice chocolate mousse. Really something for everyone, chocolate lovers, desserts with fruits mixed in. You're going to find panna cotta, sometimes even little cheesecakes and that sort of thing. And here we have an egg cream, more or less. It's like a custard. And these desserts are not highly caloric. Most are under 200 calories. They're just small containers just to get a taste and finish up your meal, and they're often under €2-3 for a pack of 4. So if the bakery is not on your agenda one day, grab some desserts from the supermarket and you might surprise yourself. They're quite good. And before we move on, I've showed you yogurt in other videos, so I won't repeat myself. But here, local to us here in the 49, the 49 in the Maine-et-Loire, we have a local, again, there's that organic, bio. We have some local yogurt from a farm not too far from where we are. This is my husband Tom's favorite. He loves the blueberry. So again, I've told you a few times now, always go local if you can, wherever you're staying, whether you're in the south of France, the east, the north, out by me, in the Loire Valley. Grab something local if you're unsure because you really can't go wrong. All right, moving on. What else? What else can I show you? All right, let's stop here and look at butter. In French, the word is le beurre. And butter is a mainstay in French cooking. It's also fantastic on French bread. So if you pick up a baguette from the bakery, you'll do yourself a favor by picking up some quality French butter. The quality levels do kind of run the gamut. You'll find everything from lower price store brands, salted, unsalted, all the way up to more, I would say, higher end butter, let's say that, and the price will reflect that. But you'll find organic, non-organic. I would recommend the ones with salt crystals from Guérande, which again is by me in the Loire Valley on the Atlantic coast. I think I'm holding up one here with the Sel de Mer, from Noirmoutier, excuse me, which is an island, well, a presqu'île on the coast. So grab something, maybe organic, maybe with salt crystals. You really can't go wrong. French butter is excellent. And on that note, something else, if you're into sour cream or recipes with crème fraîche, which is very similar, grab a container of crème fraîche when you're here in France because, again, there's that designation with the leaf. This is excellent in recipes, so look that up. As I said in the intro, the best French bread comes from a really good French bakery, but plenty of French people buy their bread at the supermarket. It's a little bit cheaper than the bakery. Again, not expensive, but a little bit cheaper, and it's convenient if you're already here. So yeah, don't shy away from picking up bread at a good supermarket bakery. This particular Super U has excellent bread. Ooh, something else that just caught my eye on the way to the register here in the refrigerated section is for anyone who likes salads, these cheese cubes in oil. They're excellent. Salaki, they're kind of like, I would liken them to feta cheese in a way. Excellent on salads and other recipes you might make. They come in different varieties like basil or in this one, herbe de Provence, so grab a jar. And yes, France has even more cheese. There's a whole aisle, cheese section back where I showed you at the deli, and then there's a whole aisle of cheeses, all kinds of things. You get your brie and other more popular cheeses, nationwide brands here, industrial made, but they're still good. A few things I'll show you. If you're looking for cream cheese, they actually do have Philadelphia. They say it Philadelphia. If you're looking for that, but there's also ones here from other brands. And then there's flavored cheeses like Boursin. You might be familiar with it from home. It's going to be about a quarter of the price in France, and you'll find more varieties. Great on a baguette or other type of French bread. They also have ones for recipes, and this just plain here, the Madame Loic, a nice name from Brittany there. Loic is a quality product. You might have caught the label again, the gold leaf, meaning it's a superior product. That's like regular whipped cream cheese. And another boursin that I like is shallot. Oh man, I'm blanking on the ciboulette. What's the translation? Chive, I want to say. So yeah, definitely grab some of these creamy cheeses if that's what you're after. Okay, two things to note about eggs in France. One, they're not refrigerated. You're going to find them on the shelf at room temperature. Two is they are brown generally. Maybe you'll find white ones somewhere, but the default French egg, the chickens here, they lay brown eggs. They also tend to be cheaper than what I've seen lately in the United States. A dozen of eggs, even local, even organic, shouldn't be more than €3 or €4. Big Macs, and you can find eggs cheaper than that. Now, right next to the eggs, you'll also find milk, which is at room temperature, shelf stable. You will find fresh milk as well, but you won't find lactate fresh milk or skim, mostly whole and 2%. But here on the shelf, we have Some lactate milk there. You see where it says sans lactose. That's what you want to go with if you have an issue and you're looking for lactate milk. The green top is going to be skim. The blue top is 2%, and the red top is whole milk. So if you're looking for any specialty milks, that's where you're going to want to look. And sometimes people ask if you can find non-dairy milk, like nut milks in France, and the answer is yes. It's getting more and more popular, even in regular supermarkets. You're going to find oat milk, almond milk, rice milk. Maybe not quite the selection you find in the US, but you will find non-dairy milk in regular supermarkets, so no worries there. One thing that's not popular, though, is coffee creamer. You're going to find all kinds of cream for cooking, but flavored coffee creamers, nut milk coffee creamers, you won't find that in France. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Look at my other grocery store content for even more insight into food in France. I'll link that playlist below. And also where to buy some of this stuff in the United States, if that's where you're watching this from. So thank you. And with that, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, guys. See you back on We in France soon. Salut!